I know in some previous videos I've talked about using memberships for recurring revenue, basically money that you earn every month, something that's stable and consistent, and you know that there's some money coming in. Today, we're going to look at how to integrate payment systems into Wishlist Member and see if that's something that might help you on that path to recurring revenue. Hi, my name is William Beam with Suburbia Press. I have used Wishlist Member and some payment integrations to use recurring revenue for a while. I have used this for courses. I've started up a membership with it, and there are some pros and cons that I've found working with different payment systems. I'm going to let you know what those are. We're going to go through how to integrate Stripe and also a shopping cart service and why you may want to choose one system over another to earn your payments in Wishlist Member. All right, so we're in the Wishlist Member setup and integration. So if you can see, that starts off with payment providers. Kind of gives you an idea how important that is. If you're going to provide this service, typically you want to get paid. There may be some cases where you're providing a membership that isn't integrating a payment, but most of us, I think, probably are. There are a lot of different services in here. This has grown since I started using Wishlist Member a few years ago. And I think probably one of the most common ones we'll look at is Stripe. And we'll click on one of these, and what happens is you click this to integrate it. Now you can see a notice here, there's a configuration and it's not configured yet. So just because you've clicked this button doesn't mean you're integrated. If we go back to our integrations, what you're going to notice is now we have some color on this one. There's a little green check mark. That indicates that you've enabled it. Doesn't mean that it's working yet. It just means that you've enabled it within these integrations. As you look through here, I can tell you with a bit of experience, there are some that I don't recommend. Authorize.net, there's a couple of them over here, is kind of older technology. I wouldn't go with these services. And the other one that's popular, but I still wouldn't go with, are the ones for PayPal. I know a lot of people use PayPal. I use it myself. And as a consumer, I like PayPal. As a business, I don't like PayPal because it's very easy for a consumer to refuse your services. Your money gets paid, or it's very easy for a consumer to dispute your service. You don't get paid, and then you're left in a quandary. So they've made and initiated a payment service over here. You don't get your money from PayPal, and PayPal just, once they just start a dispute, it's kind of hard to ever get paid for that customer. I avoid that problem by just not enabling PayPal. So you can enable it if you want to, but if you ever have a dispute, there's a problem, it's difficult to get resolved with PayPal. And if you've already provided a service and someone's declined payment, then you're just out of the effort that you had for that customer. What I do like instead is using a shopping cart. There's a few of them over here. There's SamCart over here. There's WooCommerce, which is a WordPress plugin. The one I've chosen is ThriveCart. ThriveCart's a very good service. It is a lifetime deal. In other words, you pay for it once and you never have to pay for it again. And the thing I like about using a shopping cart service is that enables you to have upsells, downsells, bump orders, basically various different things that can help you make more than one sale. So for example, if you use Stripe, someone goes in, buys a product or service that you have to offer, and they're done. You don't get anything that says, hey, since you bought this, would you also like this? Or give them any kind of customer journey or funnel to increase your earnings. Shopping carts do that for you. And also ThriveCart integrates very well with Wishlist Member. So we'll take a look at that a little bit later on. So I've got ThriveCart and I've got Stripe. Let's start with Stripe. So you can see that it says the API status not configured. You can go ahead and click on this button. And one of the things I like about Wishlist Member, they make it very simple. Over here, you see that there is a little link. It says, in order to get this to work, you've got to copy the secret key and the publish key from this section of Stripe. Well, it gives you the link right to that section of Stripe. So if we go over there, this is what you're looking for. So you can have your standard keys. There's a perishable key. There's a secret key. You notice this is protected. And then here's one from a membership that I have going. So that doesn't, by itself, that doesn't really do you any good at all. And we can create some more keys. So let's create another secret key, another restricted key if we want to. Remember what we're being asked for: a publishable key and a secret key. So this publishable key, you can just click and put right in here. The secret key, I like to keep these specific to something that I'm working on per project. So we can create a new one. Let's say that this one is for demo site. So just click, copy that to the keyboard, and save it. And there we go. Now we've got a webhook that we can use, and we copy this into the Stripe dashboard Stripe account webhook. So we'll come over here and add an endpoint. So this is our endpoint. That is the webhook that we just created. And there we go. And I was a little jump the gun there. So what events do you want to listen to? You can select every event. And in my case, I'm just going to do that. Now, you don't have to select every event. So there may be reasons why you don't want to have certain things. Maybe you're never going to do coupons. Maybe you never want some of this information in here. I went ahead and selected it for simplicity, but you can take a look through this to see of these events, are there some that you want to select and some of them you may want to deselect. So I'm going to add those events. And you can scroll down and see that we have all of these events here. And let's try to add an endpoint now. And there we go. So now Stripe is listening on this webhook, and we've connected our payment system. And we can choose this with products. So for example, over here with demo, we can have a Stripe plan or a one-time payment. And this is our Stripe plan. And this one I've got is a founding members launch. So if I use this one, this is going back to ThriveCart, as you can see over here. So we don't want to do that one for this particular one. We're going to go over here and say, what's the price for the membership? If we're going to, or maybe we're selling a course, we can do this with $47, let's say, for a one-time plan. Now, I don't want to get into doing a Stripe demonstration, but what you need to do now is, if you're going to use Stripe and Stripe alone, you need to add a product. And you can see as we come over here, you give the product a plan, a description, if there's an image that goes with it. And then you can determine, is this something that's going to be standard package, different types of pricing plans. And also, is it recurring or is it one time? So if you're doing a monthly membership, it's probably going to be recurring at a monthly period. So you need to have your product on Stripe for this thing. So if we do Stripe plan, the one that I have here, like I said, is from an integration with ThriveCart, but you could create a plan on Stripe and then you have your monthly recurring revenue just through a Stripe integration. And that's all you need to do. All right, so let's go back and take a look at a ThriveCart implementation. So as we said with ThriveCart, you need to come in here and make sure this is enabled. And you've got this detail that you're going to be passing over to ThriveCart. Within ThriveCart, you want to look at view integrations. And I got there by going through my profile and settings. So that's how we get to this page. And then we'll click on view integrations. And you've got a choice here. So we've got Stripe and PayPal, which I'd previously used. That's how I know I don't like it. So let's go over to Stripe and view settings. And what we want to do is activate a Stripe account. So I've got one in here already. Let's see what happens when we go ahead and add another one. The nice thing about ThriveCart, they give you videos to walk you through the process. So that way you know what you need to do. So you can go ahead and click on connect your Stripe account. And you can, this is again, the one I've already got. You can click on create a new account. And since I've only got one account, I'm not really going to be able to do this. I'd have to create a new business and give it all this information. And of course, you've got your options of an individual, a company, and mine, is a single member LLC. And then it's going to ask for some more information as far as your legal business name, your employer identification, and if you're doing business as. So for example, I have a single corporation, an LLC, but I have several businesses underneath that. So I'm doing business as Suburbia Press, for example. So I'm Suburbia Labs doing business as Suburbia Press. And I've got a couple of other sites that will be doing that as well. And then on this page, it's asking for personal information. So your legal name, email address, date of birth, and so forth. So I'll go ahead and fill that in and we'll get it moving along. All right, next, once you've earned something, it wants to know, where am I going to send the money? Now, if you're not listed here and you can do a search, and my account comes up there, or at least it did. Okay, I had a little problem there. I went and did this manually. Basically, a manual setup means that you put in your routing number and your account number. So even if your credit union or bank is not on the list, you can still go ahead and set this up using that information. So we'll go ahead and submit this. And there we go. Now I have this one, Suburbia Labs, is where I had my membership before. And Suburbia Press, this one is for things that I'll be doing on the Suburbia Press site. So I've got that integration set up with Stripe. I can go back. And then now we could go through and create a product. I say digital product, we'll create a new one. And we're going to just call this demo product. And I like to leave this in test mode so you can try this out. When you're ready to go live, you can just go ahead and switch this over. So we'll do the same thing. It's going to be in US dollars. And this would be something that is a subscription. If this is going to be a monthly, let's say that we're having a $37 price. If you want to set up a trial period, you can do that as well too. And how many times you can rebill somebody. In other words, how many times that they can go through their monthly renewal. And by default, that is set as indefinite. You can send an invoice for every recurring payment. That might not be a bad idea. And limiting the quantity available. Typically, I don't worry about that. There may be a reason that you want to, and if there is, you can set that. We'll click Next. So there's our pricing. Subscription, $37 a month. We'll save that. If you need to calculate sales tax, it can do that for you as well. And you need to customize your customer's invoice. You can do that. You can put your logo on it. You can present it pretty much the way you want to. It's kind of a page builder environment. And you want to set a bump offer. So this is what I'm talking about, that there is something different about using a shopping cart versus using Stripe. So Stripe, payment goes through, maybe send them an invoice, and you're done. If you set a bump offer, this is a chance to sell something else. Now, I typically would not do this on a membership, like every month try to upsell them on something else. But the idea with a bump offer is that, hey, I see you just bought a course on Lightroom Classic, learning how to use it. Would you like to get these little templates or presets to go along with Lightroom Classic for an additional $20? And that's what a bump offer is. In other words, you sold them something. Now, is there something related that's, at a certain price, maybe not too much, but something you just get a little bit of an additional sale? You can do that. So then you set up on ThriveCart your payment processor. So I can set up Stripe. I could do PayPal if I wanted to. With Stripe, I get Apple Pay and Google Pay. So there's Authorize.net here and PayPal. As I said, I've used those. I don't recommend them. And these are the different ways that your customers can pay you. Do you want to allow affiliates to do this? There's something, again, that Stripe isn't doing for you. So if you want to have affiliates who are selling your course, product, or membership, and they get a certain commission out of this, you can set that up right here as well. So this is one of the reasons I love ThriveCart. And then to access your product, what happens? Well, here's an option. Send them to my membership site. And this is where you could go over to Wishlist. And I've got Suburbia Press. And the members aren't loading up here because I've kind of skipped a step here a little bit. But, if I send them to Suburbia Labs or to my photography page, I'll have to do some research and find out where that's going. But as I said, it integrates with Wishlist Member and it sees the different sites that I have. And then underneath those sites, what's happening here is I'm loading up my sites and it's not seeing the things down here as far as the membership to assign them to. But that's what would happen over here. And I apologize when I'm showing something over here that's not showing up. So you can put your support email up there and then your login URL. This is where they would go to log in. You can click Next. which of course it won't go to anything next because I haven't finished this yet. And then we can go to our checkout, which is where it would go to next if we'd finished that. So standard would redirect them to a page. You can have a sales cart with a little video on it. You can embed this inside of a WordPress site or any site for that matter. It'll give you the code, or you can use a pop-up. So for this case, we're just going to say standard. If we go over to design, I mentioned if we launch an editor, it does not like me for this one. So let's go. There's my support URL. And it starts off with a very basic cart. There's your customer and the payment. And this can be boxed. It can be a full page. You can do things left or right. Or you can do multi-step, or you can put everything on a single step. You can choose your font, your titles. And over on this side, we won't get into it so much, but you can put over an image. So like, for example, if you wanted to have your logo up here, and then you could put your logo in there. You can put in dividers, bullets, and a countdown. Let's say that you have a time constraint on when this can work. So that could work. You can have frequently asked questions. If you've got HTML, you can put that in. So there's a lot of options of what you can put inside of here. And then there's your success page. Again, you can choose how this is going to look. So you've got a few different options over here as far as how that works. Do you want to hide the ThriveCart logo? And you can, or it kind of warns you to leave it on. You can add some custom footer links if you want to. And of course, you have all of these things over here. So we're going to just click save and exit. If you want to have tracking, for Facebook Pixel and so forth, you can do that. And then of course, your behavior, you can add rules. So when someone purchases your product, do you use ConvertKit, HTML, Slack, something like that to get a notice? And so when somebody purchases it, you could send them over to your email provider, and that would then enroll them in your email service. You can do something else. So for example, if you have an abandoned cart, the cart is abandoned, this is particularly helpful that you want to be able to maybe send yourself a notice and also send an email from ConvertKit. And then you can just choose, do you want to add them to a tag or use an existing tag, or do you want to send them a sequence? So I'll close that because I don't have a ConvertKit account set up right now. And once you've done that, you save and get your URL. So for this particular product, this would be the URL to use. And as I said, this is just a demo. There's nothing that goes with this. But that is how it works. And then you can go ahead and copy that URL. You can create upsells. But that's kind of an overview of the difference between using Stripe and using ThriveCart. So what we see over here on ThriveCart is actually pretty simple. We had our WordPress URL and API digest. But what we've done over here with this is look at how we integrated that new system with Stripe. So if we go over to our products, we can go ahead and edit that. We can create a funnel to get people through that. So do you want to edit a sales funnel? And these are where you can add your upsells and downsells. So that way, as they're going through the checkout, it takes them through a series of like, would you like this? No. Would you like a lower offer? There's different options over there. And when you're ready, you just go ahead and edit your product, turn this on to live. Now your integration that we talked about, this is integrating, creating that product. When we go over here for your integrations, one of the things that you're going to also want to do is have your integration with your membership platform. So we talked about Wishlist Member, and I can go back over here and edit what I have. So we talked about the website URL and the Wishlist API key. If we come back over here, this would be the URL that you're going to send people to. And then you've got your key over here. You can generate a new one. So that's where this information goes when you're doing Wishlist Member integration. And you can have multiple active wishlist sites. So if I wanted to do one for the demo site, let's see. So let's get our key over here. And then now we've got this one set up. So if we went back to our product, and looked on fulfillment, let's say that we say this is for a demo. And then you can see now it's got our demo membership level that we have inside of the demo website that I have. And then you just put in your login down here. And that was what we were having a little bit of a problem with before. So that's pretty much how it works. It's a one-time setup. So once you've done this, there might be a couple of things that are a little bit confusing at first, but there are plenty of documentation and walkthrough instructions that come with a Wishlist Member. So if you always look up here in the upper right corner, you can see View the Documentation. It will help you walk through and get everything that you need. And that is a look at how you can integrate your Wishlist Member environment with payment processors. As I said, I've got some recommendations for what I like. Stripe and ThriveCart. I will have links to ThriveCart in the description below, so you can get linked to that. It's a one-time payment. It's a lifetime deal offer. And so I'll have links to that, and also for Stripe down below, so you can go ahead and get yourself set up. Thank you very much for paying attention to me today. I hope that this helps you earn some recurring revenue on your membership site with Wishlist Member. If you like this video, please go ahead and click the like button. And if you want to see more videos like this, click subscribe and then hit that little notification bell icon. You'll be notified the next time a video comes out. Thank you very much. I'll see you again in the next video.